A deepening trough of low pressure and a very active subtropical jet stream will bring abundant moisture across the deep south, setting off severe weather from Texas all the way to the East Coast, with the possibility of tornadoes as well as severe flooding. The active severe weather will begin on your Thursday, stretching from areas of Kansas, Oklahoma, down toward Texas, and will slowly begin to push off toward the east, moving into Friday across areas of the deep south, stretching from Oklahoma down into the Florida Panhandle in Alabama, including Mississippi, Louisiana, and parts of eastern Texas, and then finally wrapping up as we head into Saturday along the east coast, stretching from the Carolinas, from North Carolina down through South Carolina, Georgia, Alabama, and finally into the Florida Panhandle. We will see conditions deteriorate throughout the day, the worst on your Friday. That's when the tornado risk will run its highest, as we'll see a strengthening low-level jet, wind shear, in combination with increased daytime heating that could potentially set up isolated tornadoes later in the afternoon as storms develop from west to east, moving from Texas and stretching into Alabama by late in the day, going into Saturday morning. The wind threat will be the highest in this area there from yellow, from Texas over into Alabama, with hail being the highest, predominantly during the morning hours on your Friday, stretching across areas of Arkansas, over to Oklahoma, and down toward areas of East Texas and northern Louisiana. As you can see, we have plenty to get into on this edition, so welcome back to the Weather Nerds channel. I'm your host, Greg Majeski, and before we get rolling, can you go ahead and please like, share, and subscribe to the channel? And if you like what you see, and please join the Weather Nerds family. With that, let's go ahead and take a look at the latest model data. So we're going to start off by taking a look at the jet stream, that river air sitting about 30,000 feet here on the European model, as we're looking at this trough coming in with low pressure kind of swinging in across areas of the southwest. And with the daytime heating and the strong jet energy, we're going to be looking at severe weather originally sitting up in this area right in there from Oklahoma into Texas throughout the day, late in the day on Thursday. Now, this trough is going to move over to the east pretty decently into Friday. And as we go into Friday, we're getting a little bit of a split in the jet stream, just a little bit showing right through here. That's diffluence, and when you get that, that can add to the wind shear there, the spin in the atmosphere to support the tornadoes, as I was showing you that 5% risk there across areas of the southeast as we go throughout today, Friday, and into Friday night. And this jet stream continues to progress off toward the east. It really gets very strong going to late in the day on Saturday. You notice the very strong jet energy here starting from Virginia, stretching back toward Texas in there with that front moving in there as well. And some very strong jet energy can support some very strong thunderstorms. And we've got to watch this closely because with the wind shear combination in there on Saturday, right now still showing a slight risk, might go into an enhanced risk later today on Saturday as that jet stream strengthens and the wind shear also increases across that region. In fact, I'll go ahead and show you the wind shear as well here. Let me go ahead and pull that up and we'll watch you through this period again. Going into the day on your Thursday, doesn't look too bad with the wind shear across areas of Texas and Oklahoma on Thursday. But on Friday, we do see increased wind shear here across areas from Alabama, stretching right through this region, right through here into Louisiana with that severe weather risk. And then it really picks up significantly with the wind shear as we go throughout the day on Saturday. Look at the reds there, really progressing late in the day on your Saturday. So this area right here for the Carolinas, stretching down through areas of Georgia and the northern portions of Florida, need to watch very closely as that severe risk, which is currently slight, potentially if the wind shear lines up with the jet energy and those storms on that day on Saturday, especially late in the day on Saturday, we could see that area become an enhanced risk as we go into the future. All right, let's go ahead next and take a look at the precipitation. So as we go throughout the day, heading late in the day on your Thursday, we're going to be watching as storms will be developing across the areas of Kansas, stretching back into areas of Texas, right through this region here with the chance of severe weather in there. I don't think the tornado risk will be too high there on your Thursday, but that will increase as we go into the day on Friday. And as we go into the early Friday morning hours, areas there in Arkansas, stretching back to Texas, this is when the hail will be the biggest threat, sitting right through this region, going from the Arkansas down to East Texas, Texarkana, Little Rock. That's when the hail risk will be at its greatest. But as we go throughout the day on your Friday, so we're going to advance this to Friday morning. You notice the storms there kind of lining up across areas of northern Louisiana and coming into Mississippi. So throughout the day on Mississippi, that's when the tornado risk will be increasing right through this region as we go from, say, about 2 o'clock on Friday till about 6, the late afternoon hours, when the heating's at its greatest instability, adding to that low-level jet and that increased wind shear that I did show you. Now, one of the other things of concern as we going into Friday night, the precipitation really does pick up here as we go late in the day on Friday and into Saturday morning. Notice all the yellows in here. That's indicative of some very heavy rainfall across areas of Georgia stretching back into Alabama. And those rainfall amounts in there could be quite impressive in there, in an area that's been saturated a lot here with recent storm systems. So we already have numerous flood watches that are up in this region in anticipation of this heavier rainfall that's going to be moving through the area going into early Saturday morning. And that should be dying down just a little bit as we head late in the day on Saturday. Now, the timing I was showing you there of the wind shear, the jet stream, and what the precipitation is on, they're off a little bit here. So if that does line up a little better with the timing of the said jet stream, wind shear, and the precipitation, again, I still think there's a possibility we could see some enhanced risk of storms coming in here as we go into the day on Saturday. But again, something we have to watch as we go through the next several model runs to see how that works out. But this should clear on out as we go late in the day on Saturday, as we see low pressure going up into the northeast, actually spreading some pretty decent snows up across areas of eastern Canada, getting up into New England as that cold air is going to kind of wrap in around that storm system there and kind of cool things off across the eastern third of the United States, although briefly with this said storm system. Now, we were talking about the rainfall amounts. Let's go ahead and switch over and take a look at the possible total rainfall with this storm system as it progresses across the southern tier of the United States. So as we go in throughout the day on Thursday, you see the greatest rain chances here. Obviously, there is a purple. You're getting over above 2 inches, but you're talking about right through this region here. We get the rain first throughout the day on Thursday, and this will push off toward the east as we go into your Friday. Notice the dark purples in there, indicative of the heavier rainfall there starts to spread between areas of portions of western Alabama, going through central portions of Mississippi and northern Louisiana. That's seeing the heavier rainfall amounts there. And that really picks up significantly as we go into the overnight hours there across portions of North Georgia, central Alabama, getting down to west central Georgia as well, with some very heavy rainfalls moving through that area as well. And then this begins to pull on out. So again, it's not a whole ton of rainfall. We're talking about a 3 to 5 inch rain predominantly in that area, but it's because the ground is already saturated with a lot of heavy rains that have recently fallen across the southeast, where the flooding could be a bit of a problem and a bit of a headache as we go through this upcoming weekend. The second half of the weekend on Sunday should be much better and drier and cooler as that storm system exits the eastern seaboard. There's also a winter side to this storm, as well as areas from upstate New York stretching back up toward Maine will get hit pretty good with some pretty decent snows, especially starting Saturday night and ending on by Tuesday morning heading into next week. So let's go ahead and step you through this as we go through the future here. Got the little weak system clearing out on Thursday and Friday, but the more significant snows will be coming in, again, heading into Saturday night into Sunday morning. So starting about 7 o'clock on your Saturday evening, going into overnight hours into Sunday, you've seen the significant snows piling up across areas of upstate New York and going through areas of New Hampshire and Vermont and going up through Maine, some pretty significant snows there. And by the time it's all said and done, by the time we wrap things up by Tuesday morning, a lot of areas seeing over a foot of snow. I'll highlight some of these areas there, that dark purple, 16 inches, 20 and a half inches, 19, 13 there across areas of New Hampshire, stretching up into the central areas of Maine, over a foot of snow as well. And areas here in the upstate of New York, getting near Albany, over near a foot of snow as well in that dark purple. And the lesser amounts over here in the western portions of the state, and maybe some slight accumulations back up through the Appalachians. So we're going to get some pretty decent snows with this storm system to go along with the active severe weather that we'll see across areas of the Deep South. Well, as you can see, we're in store for some very active weather beginning here on your Thursday, March 7th, later this afternoon, and that'll continue straight into this upcoming weekend. So make sure you stay weather aware in your areas. If you're going to be impacted by some of the severe weather, make sure you have your favorite weather app, and make sure you pay attention to your local National Weather Service offices for any potential warnings in your area. That'll do it for this report. I do appreciate your support. And if you have not subscribed to the channel, please consider it. Please hit the subscribe button, hit that notification bell so you're alerted on future content, and give me a comment, give me a thumbs up down below, as it helps with trying to build the channel. All right, that's it for now. You guys take it easy. We'll see you on the next edition. Until then, take it easy and be safe out there. Bye-bye for now.